Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for our Game Week 11 review and Game Week 12 preview show. I'm Chris, and with me is the other half of the FPL Cougars team, Kieran. Hello.
Good evening.
So, lots to talk about today. As usual, we're going to start by looking at our teams, and then we're going to analyse the main talking points from this game week, which there were a lot. Then we're going to look ahead to Game Week 12, discuss captaincy options, our transfer plans, and pick out the clean sheets for you. So should we start by having a look at your team, Kieran? What do you think of the game week? And don't hold back. I know you've got a lot to say.
Yeah, disaster, honestly. Obviously, it says average 52 up there. You know, I'm happy with that, I guess. But in terms of top 10k where it was about 20-odd, 30-odd behind most other people. So I've had a plummet, a mid-season disaster of plummet in rank of about 20k rank, which is so I'm about 24k now, something like that. So yeah, really disappointing, honestly. I got 3 people out of 11 returning, which was Aguero, Hazard, and Alonso. And obviously Hazard only got 4 points, which is barely anything. Alonso salvaging a kind of clean sheet, I guess, in a way. And then thank God I captained Aguero because I was really thinking about gambling on Salah. So yeah, if I didn't go Aguero, I would have been so bad. It would have been like the worst score of my life, I think. But I think many people probably did go with Salah, and they would have been disappointed. But yeah, I mean, on paper my team looks good, and just nobody turned up today. This is one of the weeks where the defence just wasn't good enough, and no clean sheets where you thought there would be some. But yeah, really, really frustrating and annoying, honestly.
It happens though, doesn't it? You're going to have a bad game week every so often, and it just so happens. I mean, you made it like it was the end of the world, but you still hit 52 average, and you're not happy with 52.
Honestly,
well, mine was a little bit better. It was one of those. I was pleased because Wilson obviously scored the first goal of the game week in the United Bournemouth game.
Yeah.
Richarlison chipped in with his 2 goals, so yeah, that boosted my. I knew that Saturday was going to be a day when the differentials sort of would make a huge difference because Sunday's game obviously was City and Chelsea playing.
Yeah.
There was going to be a lot of highly owned players, so I don't think many ranks were going to take too much of a swing or based on that day. So yeah, to get the points on the board on Saturday was pleasing, and yeah, to finish on 70 points moved me from I think it was about 118k up to 98 odd k. So. Yeah, I think that's one of the bigger jumps of the season, and to be finally inside the top, 100,000 is really pleasing. Like you, really, it was beyond Aguero, Alonso, Richarlison, and Wilson. It was a lot of 1 and 2 pointers on my team, really.
Yeah, I went into Sunday on 10 points, so I was to get to 52 was pretty good. To be honest, in the end, so basically all down to Aguero, to be honest.
What?
Yeah, go on.
Well, I was going to say, whenever I have like what I think is a low scoring game week, I think of what I would have done differently just for next time. But I don't think, even at looking at your bench players, I mean, we'll get onto we talk about the transfers you made this week. You brought in Mendy, didn't you? So you would have backed Mendy to get a clean sheet against Southampton, and usually in attacking returns in a 6-1 win. So, and I wouldn't have thought you'd play Billing over. Probably your options there, Mitrovic or Fraser, maybe. So
no, I mean, yeah, double City clean sheet going, Liverpool clean sheet going, because they were close to it against Arsenal. They were, but obviously it was a good game, but they were close to a clean sheet. And obviously Maddison in a 1-0 victory against Cardiff did absolutely nothing. Fraser fluffed some chances, and yeah, Salah did look like he could have scored, but didn't get any. And yeah, Mitro obviously doggy do.
It's a fair assessment. Yeah, I could just sense this. Watching that game last night, I could just sense that yellow card coming. He's just getting more and more frustrated. He's got a few yellows now.
Man, what's he doing?
I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, my transfers, just to pick up on that word, fairly similar to you. So I got Mendy in, who came in for Bennett, and to fund that, I was contemplating it on the show last week whether to get rid of Maddison or Mitrovic. And in the end, I got rid of Mitro, sort of at the time against my better judgment, just because the replacements I didn't feel like were as good value. Anyway, regardless, it's done. It's done now. Mendy's in, and I brought in success for Mitrovic, who was on the bench, but I'll probably play him this week. But more on that a little bit later.
I bought in Mendy for Van Dijk, and Van Dijk could have had a hat-trick, so that would have been absolutely disastrous.
He's been getting a lot of big chances the last couple of game weeks.
Yeah.
And also from Salah crosses in open play as well.
Imagine.
Two really similar ones.
Well, I said that last week. It was DVD had a chance from Salah, and it had just been points. But never mind.
So, should we start by talking about all the fixtures? Take your mind off your team. We'll start off with the Saturday lunchtime game, Bournemouth against United. So, like you said about Fraser, I think he had a fantastic chance, didn't he? Even when score was still 0-0.
Yeah,
I think it was.
I was egging him on, and he took a really bad touch, didn't he? He went too wide, and then his shot was a bit crap as well. And yeah, unfortunate, honestly. But he had about maybe 3 other chances for good assists and like clear-cut chances for players, and they were difficult. But he could have been in double figures again against United, and I've been praising him, but just unlucky this week, I think. And his fixture next week this week coming up is good. So Newcastle away, fancy him in that. Why not? Definitely keeping.
Yeah, I love that you say you were egging him on when he was through 1-on-1. Like, being a United supporter just goes out of the window for you when it comes to FPL.
Yeah, a little bit. I remember last year cheering on Otamendi when he got a winner against United, and he saved my game week.
Guys, I just pump the brakes on that one, because we were watching that game together, both as United fans, and Kieran celebrated
jumping on the chair
when Otamendi scored. I'd never seen anything like it. I couldn't believe it. I was livid. You were like elated. I didn't have Otamendi, but it was bad.
Kieran, loyalty just goes out the window for me.
It shouldn't.
Exactly.
Oh man, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fraser. It's funny because while we were watching the game, I thought Fraser would even though their fixtures are bad, he looked so attacking. He had that big chance, set up a really good one for Brooks in the second half. And I was saying, he could be a Maddison replacement, but that might be a bit too much Bournemouth. So I was really pleased with Wilson. So he's only blanked 3 times now this season, which is fantastic. Salah's blanked 5 times by comparison. I was having a look at which top players have been blanking.
Have you had Wilson from the start?
No, he came in game week 4 on my wildcard. So I've had 7 weeks of
good return.
So I'm really pleased with him. His ownership shot up now, though. He's on 32%. So he's only a percent or so less owned than Salah, which surprised me when I had a look last night. So he's now up to 6.7 mil, and he's averaging over 2.5 shots per game. And his stats actually show he's underperforming related to his XG, which means that they estimate he should have 7 goals this season, where I think he's only had 6. But I'm really pleased with him, and he's leading the line really well for Bournemouth, and he's linking play, he's creating assists and scoring goals. So
he looked pretty sharp, didn't he? Honestly,
pleased with him.
He was just wide open for that first goal, or his goal. I don't know what the defense was doing. Like, United's defense just completely left him. Like, there was 2 other people behind him that could have tapped it in as well. Just shocking defending, and great ball by Lewis Cook to get Stanislas in. Stanislas starting his first game, played 90. Interesting to see if he keeps his place once King is back to being fit. But he's 0.1% owned, Stanislas. So if you want to get him in the next couple of games, he could be a really good differential, as well as Brooks, who's 5.1 and played out of position, like just behind Wilson, and he looked great as well. Had a really good flick back heel opportunity from Fraser's assist. Could have scored a few, honestly. But all of Bournemouth attacking assets look interesting, don't they? With Newcastle away next, and then obviously Arsenal pretty leaky. They could score in that, and then I think it's City after that, possibly.
City away. And then Huddersfield. See, I'd back them at home to score goals against Arsenal, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, really, really impressed with how Bournemouth have performed this season, and I think a lot of people, especially heading into this United game, were talking about, me as well, just saying Bournemouth's pictures are going to get a little bit more tricky. Who to replace them? And I don't think you need to while they're in this sort of form. All of them are playing really well. They're an exciting team to watch.
No, I've said I was going to get rid of Fraser, but at this point, no, I'm probably not. But we'll come on to my possible transfers later, what I'm thinking. But
Okay. I haven't heard what Kieran's plans are, so guys, I'm excited.
Yeah.
On the United side of things, it was the poor defence again, wasn't it? That's one clean sheet now all season.
Yeah.
And I was having a look; they've averaged 13 shots against them per game this season. So City up next. Maybe it's time to bring in Sterling. But yeah, the big talking point was Martial again. So that's 47 points in 4 game weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
He had 4 shots against Bournemouth, 2 big chances created, and yeah, he looks in good form.
First time he scored in 4 consecutive United games in his career, which is good for him.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, he's 8.8% owned, 7.5 million. A sort of difficult bracket, like sort of Siggy bracket, but
yeah,
if you can kind of get to him, I think he's a good bet. I mean, if anyone's going to score against City, it's probably going to be him, isn't it? Can't really see Rashford or Sanchez really scoring. He looks like the one who's going to get in those positions.
Yeah, no, I'm really tempted by him as a Maddison replacement. So we'll talk about in depth about our transfers. But United after City, they've got Palace. They've got 3 games at home in the next 4 after that. 2 of them are against Palace and Fulham, 1 against Arsenal, and then they have a away game against Southampton. So I think those are fantastic fixtures.
Yep.
And he's a real consideration now.
Yep, he is.
Anything else you want to mention on that one, or shall we
move
swiftly?
Yeah.
So the second game to discuss from the weekend was a difficult for most people involved, and it was the Cardiff Leicester game. So from a fantasy point of view, our main talking point is probably going to be Maddison, isn't it? Are you losing a bit of patience now? It's 4th blank in a row.
Yeah, he's frustrating me big time. Just I don't know, like he's just dropping deeper and deeper every game. It seems like. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets dropped soon, like benched. Honestly, he's just not doing anything. I mean, he's still really dangerous from his crosses and his corners. They're all great and looks like they can be scored at any point. But the rest of his play, he's not passing the eye test. Honestly, I watched that game and he looked really poor. But he's probably going to stay for Burnley next weekend at home. So it's really difficult to get rid of him for that game for sure. It would be annoying, and just sod's law that I got rid of him and he gets goals in that Burnley fixture, which he likely could. He's on thin ice. Last chance this week, honestly.
A lot of the talk earlier in this season was about almost his luck of getting the goals he'd had with some deflected goals. He was on a penalty, free kick, and a lot of his assists have come from free kicks and corners, and how long is that sustainable?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you say, he did create some good chances, didn't he? From crosses and corners in that game.
Yeah.
But he did have a good... he set Vardy away, didn't he? I don't know if that was the second half where that handball off the line, maybe. So, I mean, if he got an assist there, and we would have just said, he's ticking along nicely.
He should have scored the chance himself, shouldn't
he? He should have, he fluffed it, didn't he, big time?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he... similar to you, I think I'm going to give him Burnley, despite their really good fixtures. He's not passing the eye test by a long way. I'll tell you who is passing the eye test though is Chilwell.
Yeah, I was mentioning him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you've been keeping an eye on his performance, but his heat map, it's up there in terms of, I know it was against Cardiff, but I had a look back over previous games, and it's up there with other flying wing backs, Doherty, Robertson, Mendy, Alonso, all those sort of players. He's getting in some really dangerous positions, assist in this game. He's really coming on this season. Obviously, he's broken into the England team. He got that almost a bit of a jammy assist in against Arsenal with a deflected own goal. But one big chance created which led to the goal. And the stats are showing he's making at least 1 big chance per game this season. Good fixtures. Are you thinking about him, or is it a little bit?
I am.
Okay.
I think he's less of a rotation risk compared to Pereira, and he's getting just as far forward. Obviously, Pereira plays out of position sometimes, but Chilwell seems to be just as far forward. He seems to be further forward than Maddison most of the time. But yeah, I do like him, and if they can keep clean sheets in these coming fixtures, I think he could be a great pick. He's pretty low owned as well. 1.5%. So
that is low.
He's huge differential, and they've got great fixtures. And if you want to go brave and get out of the arm of Alonso, Robertson, and Mendy,
see what you've done.
Good.
Wonder what you were talking about.
Have you
I
heard
heard
that all over Twitter? Arm and Drum.
Ram. I thought it was Ram.
Yeah, Ram.
Oh gosh, it's too much to keep up with, guys.
You're in there as well. Yeah.
I'll have a think about what word we can make with C in it as well. But yeah, I think he could. So, would you consider 5 at the back with him, or because I know you've still got that wild card?
Yeah, thinking about 5 on the wild card, but as weeks like this show that if there isn't many clean sheets, then you're going to score lowly, honestly.
Yeah.
But there is still great value in defence, and it's probably just a freak week. So, yeah, I like him. I'm thinking about it.
Okay. I haven't really got much to say on the Cardiff side of things. I bigged up Josh Murphy, and he had quite a poor game. So I was a bit disappointed with them. Yeah. Is there anyone you want to pick out from Cardiff?
Nope.
Should we move swiftly?
Yeah.
Cardiff has still got great fixtures, by the way, though, but it's just, can they get some form together? They've got 3 home games in the next 5, Brighton, Wolves and Southampton. That's where they're going to need to start picking up some points. Casemiro is probably a good enabler option, isn't he, at 4-5? Consistent player. I think he might pick up something, especially if you're moving formation from something to a 4-3-3, as many people are to get an Arnie. But anyway, yeah, Cardiff. Next game. Oh, I can't wait to talk about Richarlison Kieran. No, it's Everton 3, Brighton 1, and Richarlison. I actually watched the highlights. You see, he took quite a nasty tackle and bang on his ankle, so he's lucky to stay on. Yeah, and scored 4 shots, 2 on target. Obviously scored with them both, and I thought he took his chances really well.
Yeah, both really good goals.
Yeah, a good through ball from Siggy for the first one. Obviously picked up the assist, and the second one rounded the keeper really nicely, and banged it home. I was impressed and pleased, and I think Siggy's still showing that he can match him.
Yeah, he could have had a hat-trick himself.
Yeah,
he fluffed a few chances, but
he did. Yeah, 2 big chances missed, 3 shots off target. I think it's a shame their fixtures are so mixed with their away games, but I think it's, if you haven't got one of them, I think one of them at the moment. But their fixtures, they have 2 back-to-back really nice fixtures. I think in game weeks 15 and 16, they play Newcastle and Watford at home.
Yeah.
So I've been eyeing that up as a getting Sigurdsson in for those 2 games.
Yeah,
and I think
those
double
could be really good. Yeah, I think Digne is still a great option as well. He could have had a penalty. Gets really far forward, just like Chilwell. And if you could get someone to kind of rotate with him, because obviously they were Chelsea away next, and then Cardiff at home, and then Liverpool away, but then Newcastle at home and Watford at home.
Yeah,
those home fixtures are perfect. I like the chances of clean sheets in those. So yeah, and their attacking returns. Richarlison looks dangerous. I obviously had his returns and haul in game week 1, and I felt good. But this felt really bad. Really not owning him. Horrible. Wish I had the medicine.
Yeah, Digne's quite cheap now, isn't he? I think he's 4.8, something like that.
Hey, Richarlison.
Digne. Yeah. And one big chance created and 1 shot in that game. So, like you say, I think he's got potential there.
Yep.
He's definitely taken that spot from Baines now.
Yeah. Yes.
The Brighton defence finally conceded. I think the stats had shown they were overperforming a little bit, and I think Ryan's rate of something like 17 saves in the last 3 or the 3 games they got clean sheets was a bit unsustainable.
Yep.
So I think he got 1 point in that game. But the Brighton defender who did come out of it well was Dunk, who showed his girlfriend and got up well at the corner. I think he's still 4.4.
He is.
And Ryan and Duffy are, I think, still decent options through these Brighton fixtures, really.
Yeah, it shows that they're just not great away from home as well. Like,
it does.
If they've got a home fixture, play them if you've got one of them. But away from home, I think they've got 3 out of the next 5 are away.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, their chances in those are looking slimmer, honestly.
So, yeah, they've got Cardiff, Huddersfield, and Burnley away. So whilst they're not difficult games, but I was surprised that Murray didn't actually have any touches in the box. Or maybe 1, but yeah, no shots, no touch in the box. I think he was being touted as that sort of consistent one goal a home game and maybe something away game sort of player, and maybe a good replacement. But yeah, no shots away against Everton. I wouldn't consider like a really, really tough defensive side. Would be
for the price of him. For you can get Wilson or kind of just upgrade a little bit to Arnie. I think they're both way better options, aren't they?
Or even Kieran, Isaac's success.
Yeah.
The man mountain himself. So talking of, anything else you want to mention on Everton Brighton?
I don't think so. Those are the ones that I picked out. So yeah.
Done. Chit chat. Everton Brighton fans. That's it, guys. Because we're moving on to the main man, Isaac's success, and Watford. Although they lost 1-0 against Newcastle.
Yeah, well done, Newcastle.
Well done. First win of the season. And back-to-back clean sheets. Are things turning around, Kieran, on Tyneside?
Well, you'd probably say no, but I don't know. Watford, don't know. They've looked in form, and this came out of nowhere, really. I expected them to score and win fairly comfortably in this game. Lascelles picked up a bit of an injury. So he only played 45. So I think their clean sheet chances after, if Lascelles could be out for a while, might not be so good. Anyone had the Pereira or Deulofeu or anyone like that and brought them in. Disappointing.
Yeah, for sure.
For them.
And I saw in the highlights Deulofeu had 2 pretty decent chances, didn't he? And one was a good finish, but he just knocked it wide, like he struck it well. But the other one, it was, just like he rushed it. We were bigging him up last week, and I saw some cool fan video. Don't know if you saw that going around online, but it was behind Deulofeu for the goal he scored against Huddersfield, and it just looked really slick. But obviously did not follow it up away against Newcastle. But my new main man, Isaac's success, Kieran, could have got an assist. He had a nice little pass to Pereira who hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
And I think he had 3 shots. And I was, I didn't play him, obviously. I was backing Doherty. But I'm, likely to play him away against Southampton after their poop show at City. So I'm, fairly confident. If Deeney's out or confirmed out again, I'm, looking forward to seeing success in action, to be honest.
Yeah, he looked good. Solid 2 points.
Yeah. On the Newcastle side of things, I couldn't recommend any of their attackers now because they've had enough of... They're probably 3 or 4 games into their good fixture run now, and none of them have shown any consistency that would make you want to bring them in. It's the defence on these back-to-back 2 clean sheets are sort of showing up. I think Dubravka, the goalie's 5 million though.
Yeah, expensive from Newcastle.
It is, yeah.
I don't know where they got that price from. Should have been 100%.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe there's a defensive asset there, but even then I wouldn't be that sure of it. Their fixtures are good though. Like I say, 3 of the next 5 at home.
Who actually scored in that game? I missed that.
It was Perez off the bench.
Yeah, okay.
So he came on at half time, scored a good header.
Right.
But again, it's just that rotation up front.
I never really see why he doesn't play all the time. I think he's a good player.
I think he is.
Because he would get chances if he started.
Obviously Rafa doesn't see it that way.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to?
No. Really.
No, neither do I. Sorry, guys. West Ham next. We want to talk about Arnautovic, don't we? Because West Ham scored 4 goals on Arnautovic. Well, Kieran, he played well, didn't he?
He did, yeah. I watched finally caught up on the highlights of that game today, and just seemed like a great game for anyone watching. 4-2, 2-2 with I think it was 80th minute, and then West Ham scored 2 more. Arnie looked really, really good. Could have had a few more goals as well. He looks the obvious choice for a replacement for Mitrovic, doesn't he? With great fixtures, Huddersfield away, obviously City the week after, but if he can make a goal, fantastic. Anderson as well looked awesome. 2 really good finishes. He could have had another 2 as well. He could have had 4 goals. Imagine that. I think I've got his ownership down here somewhere. He's 2.9%. So, and at 6.8, he's had 2 price drops. I think doubling up on them could be good for the next, maybe after City, replacement for Maddison possibly if you want to go that way. And if you don't have Arnie, he could be great. Even Dean Garner, that 4.5.
Yeah, he's an interesting player. Fantastic. Well, he's sort of come into the side because Yarmolenko's out, so it's great to see him given a chance. Yeah. And he got an assist, didn't he, during the game?
Yes, I think he did.
He's looking good.
Coach had a penalty as well.
So yeah, it could have had more points.
Yeah.
Well, I would say about the comparison between Arnie and Anderson, I had a little look at how many shots they're averaging, and Anderson has previously only been averaging 1 shot a game, and Arnie's been averaging 3. So over the season, because they're still quite similarly priced, aren't they? I'd still try and get Arnie in if you can. What I would say though, for West Ham to score 4. I don't remember earlier in the season, Fulham beat Burnley, didn't they? 4-2. I think it was like game week 2 or game week 3, and we all thought then that, I'm not going to say this is going to happen with Arnautovic. We all thought Mitrovic was like the main man, and he was doing big things. And I think Burnley are just that bad at the moment. They're making a lot of teams and players look good.
Yeah.
So I'd be a bit skeptical on Anderson rather than Arnie. I think Arnie, we know he can do it, whereas Anderson perhaps just had a good game.
Yeah, it's just
Do you agree with that a bit? It seems, I don't want to seem like too harsh on him, but
yeah, no, I agree. It's just kind of, if you can't get Arnie in, then he's a decent, because most people have a Madison Richarlison-esque player in their team. So if you want to go that way for their good fixtures,
yeah. Well, Burnley been conceding like 23 shots on average this season per game, and they conceded 22 against West Ham. So I think if you're going to concede that many shots, it's likely that you're going to concede a fair amount of goals as well.
Huge reason for keeping Madison this week.
Exactly. And maybe even bringing in Chilwell for some goals from defence. But we'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, I thought West Ham played well. It's interesting because Burnley still look quite threatening. And was it Goodmanson?
Mm-hmm.
Goodmanson? Yes, popped up another one. So he's taken along with 2 goals and 5 assists this season.
Yep.
And the last time he got like a selection of points, it came in like a burst of 2 or 3 games. So it could be, I don't know, if he's a sort of player that performs like that. They've got some decent-ish fixtures.
Yeah, they do.
Obviously, after Leicester, Newcastle at home and Palace away, they go away to Liverpool, beat the tricky one, and then they got Liverpool at Turf Moor, and then Brighton. So Goodmanson's interesting. I don't know if I could bring myself to have a Burnley attacker in my team. It'd be a bit too heart-wrenching every week.
6 million, isn't he? And Fraser's that sort of prize. I think.
Yeah,
he's just way more dangerous. Just the players around him as well. Just Bournemouth way more dangerous. So, just a bit crap.
We'll just finally say about West Ham's defence, because a lot of people getting really excited about this great run of fixtures, and Balbuena was quite heavily transferred in after that goal.
Yeah,
and Fabianski as well. And I was tempted, I must say, that Hennessy's been in goal for the last few weeks for me, just watching Palace get battered by these big teams, and I was thinking that maybe I'll go back to Fabianski for those save points. But I think it's just the lack of clean sheets put me off. That's one they've kept all season. So I know that their games have been tricky, but I really thought they'd keep a shutout against Burnley, and for them to not.
Are you thinking about Fabianski this week, maybe?
No, I don't know. Until they prove a little bit they can keep a clean sheet at home. It just seems like every time they play at the London Stadium, they have these open games, and there's always a chance they can concede a goal. I think the only clean sheet they have, ironically, was the game against Chelsea, where they sat in really deep and defended. But otherwise, it just seems like they're conceding too many chances, and good chances and goals. So
yeah, would agree.
Not so sure on them at the minute.
Yeah.
Arsenal, Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night. Well, Saturday 5:30 night. The big game. The big game. It was even though, wasn't it? I didn't think it was going to be, and it was. 12 shots to 13 and 4 on target. I thought Arsenal played well.
It was just a great game. They both played well.
Yeah.
Both could have won it. Both had good chances. Mane obviously had a goal cancelled out, which should have been a goal. And I think Arsenal put them in, which was offside or something. But yeah, they had their chances as well. Liverpool nearly had that clean sheet. That's very close. Robertson looked decent. Salah had a few good chances. One where he went like straight through and he just kind of nicked the ball too close to who was it? Bellerin?
Leno.
I think. Someone tackled him like really close. It was Xhaka actually. It was. But yeah, he threw and he just nodded it just too close to Xhaka and annoying. Firmino with that great chance for the Mane thing, he could have scored. Good finish for Milner. Even game in the end.
I think Liverpool were quite unlucky, weren't they, with that Firmino lob and Salah rebound. Mane rebounded goal.
Yeah,
it should have gone.
Yeah,
been given. But no, I thought Liverpool looked. Yeah, I think it was just such an even game. Salah did okay. I was obviously rooting for him to score some big points after last week's haul, and he's in a bit of form. 3 shots. One big chance created in the game. But I thought Mane could have easily walked away with that goal. And we would have had another conversation again this week about how does Salah and Mane's value compare?
Yeah,
but I know it's no returns in 6 now for Firmino, so I think their attacking output seems to have definitely diminished a little bit from sort of this time last season. Remember, we were getting towards November, December, and Coutinho was just coming back into form, and they were putting a lot of teams away. I think it was the game against Arsenal where they scored 4, didn't they? And they won 4-3 maybe last year.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be quite a high-scoring game, but both teams were, I think, was more defensively minded, Liverpool, this season.
Yeah, they clearly are. Just Van Dijk has just made them so strong in the back, and Gomez and Trent both having good seasons. I feel like Klopp's being kind of affected by that in a way. He's almost just relying on them being so much better, and he's being a bit more defensively minded.
Yeah.
Because they decided to sit back, didn't they? It seemed like when they were 1-0 up. And you couldn't really see Liverpool scoring again. So, just disappointing for Salah, captain. As the stats said he could do well, but just didn't turn out that way, I suppose. Just unlucky, but he's the obvious standout captain for next week by far.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you don't have Salah, then you would do Mane. Hopefully Salah outforms him. Triple up Liverpool against Fulham seems fantastic if you can do that.
Well, I think the defence was more questions again, weren't there? Because Lovren was back on the bench and Trent and Gomez played. But Liverpool have got a great run of 5 fixtures now. So Fulham, Watford, Everton, Burnley and Bournemouth. Only 2 of those 5 are at home. But I really fancy the double up. Like we'll talk about our transfers again a bit later in more detail. But I think there's such a potential there for a double up in defence rather than attack. I think a lot of people are thinking Salah and Mane for those 5 fixtures, but I think the value could be better spent or the money could be better spent in defence than Robertson and Van Dijk, or Robertson and I think Robertson has got to be one, and Alisson in goal.
Yeah, I mean I've been burnt by that already against Cardiff, so I'm less confident in that. Annoying.
Yeah.
I mean I would love to do that, but because I got BVD in for that double clean sheet against Cardiff, and Cardiff scored. That can happen, can't it? Just a free goal when people stop concentrating at the end of the game, sort of thing.
Yeah,
and that worries me. So just kind of like that City game when they concede and double clean sheet, just loads of points just down the drain, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you think of Aubameyang then? Because he started, didn't he, this game? I think it was his first start in maybe 3 game weeks, where previously he'd come off the bench and scored two goals, I think.
Yeah, he had a couple of chances, but he didn't do too much, did he?
No, he didn't. I thought he was quite quiet.
Yeah. Lacazette looked generally better and great finish for his goal. So I was thinking, like, what's he doing shooting there? But I thought there was a good few people in the box, but a great finish.
Really good.
Yeah, I was a bit annoyed when he scored because he's still quite well owned. That was a rank killer. But obviously as well for the clean sheet, so frustrating.
Yeah. I was impressed with Arsenal, but it's funny because it's still been 11 games, and I'm really not sure what their best fantasy asset is yet.
No.
Or even if there is one, because I mean their defenders are getting some attacking returns, but they're not combining them with those clean sheet points that you want. And whilst Lacazette is now the main striker, it's a difficult one because he's the main striker, but when Aubameyang comes on from the bench, he seems to take a lot of points off him, and when teams are tired, and it doesn't really flip the other way around, if that makes sense. So Lacazette's very rarely benched now, so he's not coming on against tired teams.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a tricky one, but I mean I'm looking at Lacazette when Arsenal's fixtures sort of take a turn around 16, and I could see myself getting an Arsenal striker, but I just need some more
clarity
on which way Emery's going to play.
I mean, for me, I'm looking the other end of the field, and I'll be looking at Bellerin.
Okay.
Yeah, from 16. I mean, the next two, like Wolves at home, Bournemouth away, they're not too bad for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, from 16 is Huddersfield home, Southampton away, Burnley home, Brighton away. And Bellerin, who's been really good. He was bombing forward in that Liverpool game, wasn't he? He was just
He was, yeah.
And he's good for assists, good crosser, and can get the odd goal. I like it. It's just whether I can get rid of Mendy and Robertson or whatever for him. That's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah,
really difficult.
He's definitely an option and a big differential at any 10%. So yeah,
10%. Okay.
Nailed on as well.
He is nailed on. I thought you were more better owned than that, or more highly owned. Okay, all right. That surprised me. Later on in the Saturday night, we had what I thought was going to be a cracking game, and then Spurs scored a couple of goals. But yeah, Wolves 2, Spurs 3.
Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy this one? Did you watch it?
I did, yeah. Game, honestly. First half you're thinking, this is going to be a whitewash. But the Wolves 2 penalties, and that Gibbs White that came on looked fantastic. English young talent. Well played to Wolves for trying to get back, and they were close to getting to 3-0, to be honest.
Yep.
Even Kane scored, twisting that knife in a little bit further on the points this week.
He had 8 chances as well.
Yeah.
Or 8 shots, which was crazy. Against Wolves. They're meant to be solid at the back. What's going on, guys?
Yep.
3 goals. But they just looked shell-shocked, didn't they? After that first goal went in, Lamela scored, then Mora scored almost straight away.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, what's going on? We obviously both own Doherty.
Yep.
You were talking about on Twitter the other day about how since you brought him in, he's not done much, but he could have had an assist this game, Keek.
Yeah, I think he still looks good. Like, he does pass the eye test, but since I brought him in, he has got me 4 points in 3 weeks, and I think before that it was something like he probably got 30 odd points, didn't he? In 3 weeks.
He did, yeah.
It's just typical, isn't it? But he does pass the eye test, and he looks like an auxiliary striker sometimes. I think I'll keep him for that Arsenal fixture. And going forward, they have decent fixtures too. So, yeah.
They do. I'm not worried about him in the slightest. He's only 4.8 million. If you're telling me that you could get a defender who's playing on the wing, who's got that much attacking output, and he's in a team which previously has been quite solid. I mean, they're playing Tottenham, they're playing Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think the more surprising results were the ones against Brighton and Watford, but yeah, Doherty, he's staying for me. When you consider his value or his price compared to a striker who's 4.8 or a midfielder who's 4.8, he offers so much more.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are transferring him out, and
crazy.
You never know. Like, they could get a free clean sheet against Arsenal, and you'd be ruining that transfer out big.
Yeah, would be. What do you think of Jimmy?
I mean, I've talked about him a lot, haven't I? His haul was coming, but it just took so long to come, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
But to be honest, nothing from open play. He had a goal disallowed, from that Doherty assist. Should have been a goal, but a penalty and a penalty won. Yeah, he's got in the right position. Sure, I'm not sure why he took the second penalty, why Neves didn't, but yeah, happy for his owners with 12 points. Good for him. Hopefully he can come on.
No, I thought his performance was overall quite good.
Yeah.
And biggest return of the season. He's still only owned by 8% of players. I think that'll probably go up this week considering his current price of 5.7. And 5 shots against Spurs it's pretty decent. I think there's quite a lot of options up front now. Or there has been most of the season, but he's just sort of reminding people now that, look, I'm still here and I'm a good alternative to probably Danny Ings in that bracket. Probably a better alternative than Ings, to be honest, because considering how bad Southampton are.
A good third striker for 4-3-3.
Definitely. Talking of Ings, the rest of his Southampton boys, they got battered, didn't they?
I just wanted to mention Kane.
Oh, okay. Just do it.
From game week 15.
Okay.
They're running crazy. Is he good? So he's someone to start thinking about. If you've still got a wild card or something like that, get him in over the next, maybe 4.15 or something. If you have enough funds to possibly leave in your bank, because obviously the next 3 they've got Chelsea and Arsenal.
Yeah.
But after that, like it's just full greens, and yeah, the Kings. You know, he's still a good player. He's still going to get chances. He's still going to get goals, and he's pretty low owned now. He is expensive, but yeah, why not? I guess in a way.
How many good fixtures are there? I remember having a look the other day, and it was it like 8 or 10 or something?
There's seven in a row, pretty much greens.
Oh, yeah. I think I'd rather have Trippier, but
yeah, I think Trippier is a must own in that time.
Yeah. Do you double?
Even
Eriksen could be back by then.
Yeah, like Ali's back as well. Like he didn't play this one, but Potter said he can't play 3 games in 6 days after his like just coming back from injury, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ali's pretty much back to fitness. Eriksen came on as a sub, didn't he? He's going to start be starting soon, so we're all kind of getting back to being on form and ready to go, sort of thing.
Yep.
And you would think that Kane's going to start returning, so definitely one to look at.
No, to keep my eyes peeled, Kieran. They're ready. They're looking ahead. Future planning.
Yeah, I mean, people have been burned by him already, but
yeah,
those fixtures are too good to possibly miss him.
Also,
yeah.
Do you want to say anything more on that fixture, or Spurs or Wolves looking forward? You mentioned Kane. Good. All right. So Sunday, Ings in his Southampton squad battered Kieran 6-1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Man City. Whoa. Should we start talking about Sterling? Because where else should we start, really?
Yeah.
So that was two goals, 2 assists, 11.1 million. You can buy that for. He's probably going to go up this week, I would have thought.
Yep.
If he's not already.
Yep.
So that's 77 points overall for this season, and he's scoring every 129 minutes. So his rate is getting much better than last season, and he's averaging nearly 2 shots per game, and he's created 4 big chances this season. Have we been overlooking him too long? Is what I'm trying to get to.
Well, you'd probably have to say yes, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's just price has put everyone off, hasn't it? And it's possible rotation, which has happened. And you know, if you've got 11 million on your bench, that's disappointing, to say the least.
Yeah.
But he is providing so much value, I suppose. He's outscored Aguero every time he's been on the pitch with him. So there's an argument for getting rid of Aguero for him. You know, that was one of our questions, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do we need? Wasn't it from Belfast? Is that right?
You put me on the spot. Oh yeah, Belfast. Do we need both Aguero and Sterling?
Yeah.
FPL Belfast.
The argument is yes, you would like both, wouldn't you? It's preferable to have both.
Yep.
But it's not essential, I guess. If you want to get rid of Aguero for Sterling, then fine, but you've got to be aware of that rotation risk. But yeah, if you want both, you have to have a sacrifice somewhere else. It's kind of impossible to have Aguero, Hazard, Salah, Sterling. It's just because your defence will be poo and everything else will be poo.
We're quite poo heavy today.
Yeah, we are.
We are quite poo heavy. Okay.
What do you think?
I think it's like you say, it's difficult to fit them both in, but at the same time, they're both still producing really well. Aguero is a great captaincy option this season. He's proven he's been consistent at home, less so away.
Yeah.
But Liverpool and Man City's fixtures have rotated pretty favourably well this season. So if Aguero is away from home, you generally captain Salah and get good points.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll look at this more in depth later, but I think Liverpool have got some great fixtures coming up. But I think there's enough evidence so far this season to say that Sterling is going to continue his output, and Salah is at the moment underperforming relative to his value, and Mane is probably performing in line with his value. So there's probably an option where you could downgrade Salah to Mane, and that extra money could be used to keep Sterling. To get Sterling and still keep Aguero. Plus, City are playing so well at the moment. I mean, their goal difference ahead of Liverpool is crazy, isn't it? Already, I think they have like 13 or 14 more goals than this season, or goal difference is 13 or 14 better. So they are by far and away the best team in the league again already this season, and they just look like ready. Well, I hate to say it so early, but it's going to take a mammoth effort from Liverpool to stop them.
for anyone to stop them, really.
Anyone to stop them. Yeah, so
0-0 against them themselves, Liverpool and City. But
yeah,
you'd imagine this week they could ruin United. I mean,
yeah.
it's
Well,
at home.
they take the lesser teams apart at home, don't they? They do it lesser away from home.
Mm.
But when they get to the Etihad, it could be 4, 5, 6 goals. And it's just making sure you have the coverage. Rotation has bitten again, isn't it? Because Mahrez was benched after playing so well, didn't even get off the bench.
Yeah.
So, and Sterling has missed 2 games this season. Notably, more recently, he was benched for the Burnley game, wasn't he? Didn't get a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't City put 5 past them? I think they put 5 or 4 past Burnley a couple of weeks ago. But
5 now.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So. I would, and Aguero played that game. Aguero's played every game this season, whereas Sterling's missed 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a tricky one. Honestly, my mind, I'm keeping Aguero because I know he's getting consistent minutes and he's scoring. If he improved his away form, it'd be no question. But I think there is enough evidence now to say Salah's underperforming for his price. And Sterling is better value, and Mane, if he can continue his returns, then I think Mane and Sterling could potentially, for instance, for me, I could afford to have Mane and Sterling rather than Salah and Maddison. But to me, that seems like a pretty decent trade.
Yeah, it does.
If you have a player in that bracket who you can afford that money, then
yeah,
I think that'd be a way to do it.
Yeah, but you just got to be aware that he will sit on the bench sometimes.
Exactly. You can never be sure with Pep, which is why it's so difficult. If you can get them in for those games and captain them.
I mean, he does seem to be first choice.
He does.
He's only been rested. Well, obviously not the second week of the season when he was benched, but he was rested after the international break. So obviously, there's one coming. Yeah. So if you're looking at a wild card, then you might be wary of. He might get rested again. Yeah. He'll probably play the 90 minutes of both England games. So, and then that's when Pep seems to like to give him a rest.
Yeah.
But other than that, he looks like he'll play every game and he will score.
Yeah. What he does have a little bit more than Sterling is, like we said, is away form and Aguero's lack of it.
Mm.
And 3 of City's next 5 are away against teams you'd expect them to. West Ham and Watford you expect to beat away from home, but then they've got a trickier one away against Chelsea. But Sterling showed away against Tottenham. He was good enough for the assist, and he played really well. He could have had another goal in the second half. So I think, and I don't know what it is. They just don't seem. I don't know if you noticed in the game against Spurs, but they just don't seem to find Aguero as well in away games. And until that improves, I think Sterling is a definitely worth doubling up on. Or doubling up with.
Yeah, got to agree, honestly.
So City defence, we were both disappointed, weren't we? First clean sheet wipeout in 7 games, I think it was.
Yeah,
7th game.
Penalty as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Definite penalty.
Yeah, for sure, but just disappointing. Bringing in Mendy against Southampton.
Yeah.
I think in the 6-1 win, Mendy would at least get an assist, right? But yeah, unfortunate. Just happens, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does.
Still a great player. Still value in that defence, and I'm sure they'll keep a clean sheet. Probably keep a clean sheet against United.
I don't know about that. I've got a feeling for United next week.
I mean, yeah,
not to win, but I don't think they'll get battered.
No,
despite how bad they've been this season. Mourinho likes a big game.
Yeah.
And I tell you who also likes a big game is Mark Hughes, because he loves trying to win them, but just consistently gets well beaten. So I think if you've got a top 6 player playing a Southampton side this season while Mark Hughes is still in charge, just give him the armband, because they're gonna do work.
He's not long for being in that job, is he?
No, I don't think so.
You could see when it was like 2-0 or 3-0 by 30 odd minutes, you could just see his face. He was just like,
he just looked so confused, like he wasn't expecting it, man. He was like playing 4-3-3 away against City. They were barely getting on the ball, and like the ball was obviously they were scoring. He was like, well, I didn't expect that, and I'm just going to be angry about it. It just seems like, I don't know. I can't imagine. I was listening to like one of the BBC Radio 5 Live podcasts, and they had like Matty Everington on, who used to play for Stoke, and he said Mark Hughes doesn't coach defending, which I was like, okay, I can understand that.
Right.
So yeah, conceding 6 goals against City, and they conceded 3 against Chelsea, didn't they, at home? I think they could have some more. I don't know what their fixtures like. Let's see if we can pin one on them now. They play away against Tottenham, game week 15. All right, I'm trying to see if the big team, if Kieran, Harry Kane, captain, maybe triple captain, game week 15.
Maybe.
Isn't it? Didn't he score a hat-trick against Southampton last season around Christmas time? I think that was one of the teams. It was Burnley or Southampton.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, there's a top tip. Think about it. Game week 15. Get Kane. Give him the captaincy. Anyway, so yeah, is there anything else you want to add on that game? I'm sure we'll come back to this in a minute when we start doing our previews and start talking about
let's continue.
Sterling again. Chelsea, Palace, Morata. He's looking good. I'm pleased for him.
Well, he wasn't looking good for that second and Hazard assist, was he?
No, he wasn't. He tried to chip Hennessy when Hennessy was stood up.
Oh, he could have done anything other than that.
I was like, come on, mate. Just go around him. Yeah, but before that, he'd scored 4 goals in 4, hadn't he?
Yeah, he could be an option, I suppose. I mean, Chelsea look good, so why not? Their tough fixtures are just read on paper like they could beat anyone.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. Is Giroud injured? Is that a thing? I don't know, honestly.
He was wearing this, wasn't he? I don't think he was in tracksuit. I think he was wearing a smart shirt, wasn't he? And a little hat.
Yeah.
Little beret or something like that.
Yeah,
Black
he
hat.
must be injured or he's just completely out of favour for some reason.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah,
he hadn't scored though, would he? So Morata's doing the business.
Yeah, you could probably say Morata's in form now. So
yeah, he's expensive though. 8.7.
Yeah, I suppose, but that
would be the downside.
Is all right, to be honest.
Yeah.
But then, Lacazette, Vardy sort of value.
That's true.
Yeah, don't mind it. If you went Barkley as well, you've probably got 3 Chelsea. But yeah, that Barkley bandwagon is gone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Started. He
had one
in 1 week, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He had he could have got a yellow as well for a tackle on Zaha. No key passes, 1 shot on target, and then he obviously got subbed for Hazard or Kovacic. I can't remember. It doesn't really matter who they played, but did a double sub, didn't they? Anyway, but yeah, it just derailed a little bit. We thought that it wasn't going to be a long-term one because there's so much rotation there, and if you had him in for last week, well done, because it looks like now he's just going to continue to be, especially with the Champions League. We thought he'd play 90 minutes, didn't we? Because he didn't play in the Europa League game on Thursday. No, was it League Cup game? Sorry, against Derby.
Yeah, League Cup.
Yeah. So we thought he'd play 90, but yeah, subbed. I think he's a strange one to own. Obviously, he's playing a better. Let's compare him to Fraser, because I think a lot of people might have got rid of Fraser ahead of those fixtures, and he's in that sort of bracket. I think they've got some great fixtures, Chelsea, but yes, I think there's a lot of players ahead of him who are more likely to get attacking returns than he is, namely Hazard, Morata, probably also Pedro and Alonso as well, I'd say. So I think he's almost like 5th in line. I'd expect to get points in that team.
Yeah, kind of agree. Yeah.
So Hazard, we were both a bit worried, weren't we? Because he had a bad back, Kieran. He had a bad back, but he came on and he got an assist. Yeah,
within like seconds, wasn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah, it was seconds.
Kick and should have had a second one, and he may have even got into the bonus if he put that in. He's still looking great. His every sub appearance he's had, he's got an assist or return.
Yeah.
I imagine he'll play the 90 in the next game. He should be fine. Like him, season keeper. No reason to get rid at the moment.
Not even for Sterling?
Oh, no. I think if anyone go... Well, I guess we'll talk about that later, actually. There's a question. But yeah, it has to stay for me.
Okay. Well, 20 people don't agree, Kieran, because they've transferred him out already this game week. I had a little look. 20,000 people.
20,000? I thought you said 20.
Oh, no, that would be
20.
Not worth talking about, but 20,000 people's worth talking about.
Wow, okay.
They're fed up already. They can't hack it.
Seems strange.
Yeah. So anything else you want to add from that game?
Alonso, he salvaged
a
sort of fake clean sheet. But he's by far the top scoring defender. He's absolutely must own in defence, isn't he? Like pretty nearly 50% owned. I think he might actually be over it. If you don't have him, then what are you doing? You're probably a dead team, but
he loves a bonus as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Even in games where they're perhaps not. I think there was like 10 minutes gone, and I checked the provisional bonus, and Alonso was on 3. I was like, well, just of course he is. Who else is getting bonus for Chelsea?
Yeah.
And I think if they keep a clean sheet, he's on for bonus, and when he gets attacking returns, obviously, he's on return. He's on for bonus. So yeah, Alonso. So pleased I got him when I did. Just been getting in all these points.
Yep.
I just want to say Palace, just touch on them very briefly and say good finish by Townsend. Apart from that, they're doing a good job of keeping teams quiet and not battering them, but I need more security from Hennessy. Their fixtures do clean up, and to be honest, now I'm likely just going to ride out and not change keeper, because after they play Tottenham and Man United, they've got Burnley, Brighton and West Ham, and I'd expect more clean sheets, more save points coming back in, and I think it's... Because last week I was debating, wasn't I, whether to take a 4-point hit to get Edison or Kepa. Glad I didn't, because I would have regretted it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if you're like me, if you've got Hennessy, hold. Let's stick together through these bad times. Hope for more save points, and then see what the green fixtures bring. So the final game of the game week, Huddersfield, Fulham. Do you want to start by talking about Mitrovic, or is it going to hurt too much?
He's just not good, is he? Like he's in the bin. He's gone for me. I don't know what to say. He just looked terrible when he got that yellow card, and just Fulham look really bad, honestly. Like Schürrle had that goal that was not a goal, and Mitrovic probably would have gotten a assist. He sort of touched it to him.
Yeah.
But that would have been another sort of jammy assist, and he's just not consistent. He's not getting many shots anymore either. He's just not providing the value. And there's so many better people around him, like Wilson and Arnie. So Ings as well. Ings. Just kind of proper boring game in general, wasn't it? Like Huddersfield haven't even scored at home all season. Then they get a goal from Schindler, which isn't a goal, it's an own goal. They still haven't scored at home, and just a 1-0 on a Monday night. You're just thinking, oh god, just disappointing.
There's such a drop off in quality, isn't there? When the teams at the bottom of the Premier League, it was a really scrappy game. You can tell both teams sort of really needed the points, but neither really had that much confidence. I don't think there was much good play, and it was just I only really sort of watched half of it, but quite boring from what I saw. Mitrovic, I could just, even the bits I watched, I could see that yellow card coming. He was just getting more and more like frustrated and isolated, and then he's got that a few times. It makes me think, because he and the manager, he always seems to play with the manager, doesn't he? Like 90 minutes, and in the last couple of games, I think he's picked up like 3 yellow cards maybe in like the last 4 or 5 games.
Yes.
So I wonder if the frustration of how the team's been performing is sort of trickling through to his attitude, really.
Yeah, he's probably not far off a ban either.
Yeah, he's probably not now. I think it's 5, isn't it? I think he's got 3. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't think, has he been sacked this morning? I haven't really been checking out on the news.
I don't think so. I've not seen.
I don't think so. Okay. I wondered if he might he's be the first manager to go. I know the chairman said he won't be, but I could just, like I said to you last night, I could see him getting sacked, a new manager being in place, or a caretaker manager for the Liverpool game, and they got that bounce back a bit. The new manager bounce, and they win 1-0. You told me.
I think that's bonkers.
Crazy.
But I think, Mitrovic is already being sold en masse. He's by far and away the most sold. He was 28% owned, and he's just plummeting. I think. I think he dropped last night, possibly. Maybe he didn't actually. I might be making that up, but he just has to go. I think if you're thinking about keeping hold of him, don't.
Yeah.
Is he worth a hit to get her out? Probably not, but he has to be on your agenda to get rid of, because their fixtures are bad and they're just conceding, and he's not getting any shots.
No, I think you've covered it. I think Mitrovic, he's on the fire, isn't he? On the bonfire.
Yep.
Burning. Okay. Well, not so graphic as that, but yeah, he's going. We had a few. Should we move on to our questions? We had a few this week. If you listener want to ask us a few questions for next week's show, just tweet us. We usually put out a tweet on Monday or Tuesday, the day we're recording, just to say, send us some questions. And these are what we've had. So we've discussed FPL Belfast question, who asked, do we need Aguero and Sterling? And similarly, FPL Ant also asked, is Aguero Sterling a viable move? So we sort of covered that. So we had an interesting question from FPL Centre. I don't know if you saw, but I'll read it aloud and we can discuss in detail, because it said, if we had 0 Liverpool assets heading into game week 12, i.e. this game week, which premium option would you transfer out in order to bring in either Mane or Salah? Aguero, Sterling, Hazard, or go without any Liverpool players? Do you want to have a go at answering this one, or giving your thoughts first? Or
obviously, against Fulham, you think Liverpool are going to smash them.
Yeah.
So it's definitely preferable to have a Liverpool player for this game. In terms of premium person to get rid of, I would say I would lean towards Aguero.
Okay.
Because, if you bring in Salah / Mane, you're going to captain them. You're not going to captain Aguero this game against United, because Jose likes a big game. It could be tight. Yes, City are at home, but it'll probably be a tight game. Probably like a 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, something like that. So you probably won't captain Aguero, right?
Okay.
Bring in a Liverpool asset like Salah or Mane, you're going to captain them.
You're going to captain, yeah.
So I think Aguero for Salah or Mane this week seems good, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, I sort of tend to agree with you, really. I think if you have, let's say you have Aguero and Sterling already, of the two, I'd probably rather. Although Aguero does have a good record against United, he likes scoring against United.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got Sterling and Aguero, you probably just got in Sterling.
You would be a bit reluctant to get rid of him.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you that I don't think it's wise to go without any Liverpool players. If you can get a defender, great. And if you can get an attacking option, I would always opt for Salah over Mane, just because he's averaging more shots per game. So at least a shot a game more than Mane.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's averaging almost 3 shots per game to Mane's 2. And he's created 5 big chances compared to Mane's 2. So the stats say that despite him obviously costing more, you're getting more game involvement. And we've seen that, haven't we? With watching the last few games, he is more involved than Mane.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say downgrade Aguero, upgrade someone else, and Salah, and captain. And I think that, and a defender if you can, but I don't know how much you want to spend on this particular game. I'd say Robertson.
Yes, yeah. I wouldn't get rid of Hazard. His fixture's good. Everton home.
Yeah. Obviously got the Champions League, haven't they, tomorrow? So they could get some extra team. Or is it tomorrow? I think it is, yeah, extra team news.
Yeah.
Shaqiri could be interesting because they've left him out, haven't they?
Mm.
They don't want him to be abused by the fans or concerns for his safety or whatnot. So, yeah. But no, I think if it's Mane or Salah, Salah for me.
Yes, I mean, obviously that depends if you've got the sort of extra cash from Aguero to Salah, which is obviously quite significant.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
so
be interesting.
Yeah, no, I think you need coverage though, and you need coverage. Another question, similarly again on the Salah and Sterling theme. And we've had a lot of questions on this, so it makes sense to just recap it again. But Salah out for Sterling. Is Mane sufficient Liverpool attacking coverage? Admittedly, this is from FPL JK, by the way. Admittedly, I still personally expect Salah to score more. However, for the price, Mane may be better value. So I think picking up on what I just briefly touched on a minute ago, I think if you are going to get rid of Salah and bring in Sterling, I think it makes sense to keep Mane, and I think he is sufficient Liverpool attacking coverage. I mean, like we've just mentioned, we think that Salah. Well, I think that Salah is definitely performing better, so he's averaging more shots on goals and he's making more big chances. But I wouldn't say he's making enough more to justify that extra 3 million in price he is. So when you can say he's having a shot extra over Mane per game, and he's created 3 more big chances than Mane has this season, for an extra 3 million, I would expect that to be like a lot higher or a lot more of a gap between them.
Sure.
And and Mane's had like a one less game to work with this season, which was the Huddersfield away game. and he's still only behind Salah by 2 points overall. So I think Mane is more than enough cover, which is why I sort of mentioned earlier that I think I could easily see myself downgrading Salah to Mane and upgrading Maddison to Sterling in a couple of weeks. I think that seems good.
I think it just kind of feels bad getting rid of Salah, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
But for that upgrade, if you can get Sterling and Mane, that seems great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think he's pretty much said it himself. Like, we do expect Salah to still score more, but the value between them, 2 points behind Mane, it does seem better to get Mane, doesn't it? Really, overall. Just loyalty to one player maybe is just silly, and we should just be getting Sterling and Mane. Simple as that.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I don't know if it's the same for you, but man, I enjoy watching Salah play football. So for me, I like having him in my team, and I get excited to watch him. But the what's on paper and what's on screen says that Mane's performing almost as well as him for a lot less. So if we're playing this purely from a game point of view, I think there's better value in Mane at the moment.
There's value in both of them as well. If you can get both,
that's true. Then
that's still, obviously we're talking about Aguero and Sterling, but Salah and Mane as well is still a good thing, good way to go. I had Salah and Mane at the end of last season, and they both did great for me. So Salah's just frustrating to watch as well. I think I get called out by my girlfriend all the time, just like she just hears me saying, "For fuck's sake, Salah, just like, what are you doing?" Like, sorry for the swear, but just like I'm saying it every weekend, just like, for God's sake, Salah, like.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it can happen. You get angry.
Maybe
we're gonna get taken down.
Frustrated with Mane, but who knows?
Okay, so I think that wraps up the questions. Thanks for those, guys. It was good. We'll as we say, if you want to have your question answered on the show, just tweet us next week and we put the link out. Should we just talk about our captaincy options for this week? I mean, we've sort of already discussed it, but you and I look like we're pretty firmly sure on Salah this week.
Salah, 100%.
Salah all the way.
No change.
Has triple captain crossed your mind, considering?
Oh yeah, it has actually. Against Fulham, it seems obvious, but sometimes that's a trap, I guess, the obvious fixture.
Yeah, that's the thing. But if you'd done it against Cardiff, you would have been fairly happy, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Goal and 2 assists.
Yeah.
Sure. I think any score more than 10, I think, is probably a decent triple captain return.
Yeah, I'll see how they do today in the Champions League, see if they're still firing. And then, just judge it on that, I suppose.
Okay, yeah, I'm the same with Salah. Just fancy him, and Vice is on Robertson if he doesn't play, but I'm pretty sure he will. Let's say Salah. Okay, let's do a hypothetical then, just so we've got all bases covered. Geek. Salah gets injured against Red Star, yes. And who do you captain then? Is it definitely Arnautovic?
Tough. Maybe Hazard then, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
At home against Everton.
Yeah, probably.
I bring it, sort of mention it because when I was having a look at all the stats and I was comparing players to how I get Sterling in, it actually surprised me to see that Hazard has been the player with the least shots of Salah, Mane, Sterling, Aguero, and Hazard, of course. He has the least average shots per game, so he's only averaging 1.5 shots per game. And actually, it's closer to 1 than it is 1.5. His big chances where he's crushing everyone else. So it shows that he's more likely to get assists this season. But he's just, although he's got the most goals, or the joint most goals for Aguero, all that lot, he's just been really efficient.
Yep.
So
you think if
it's just how long can that efficiency keep up? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You think if it was Morata passing Hazard through for that chance, Hazard would 100% have scored that.
Yeah, agreed.
He's got the football knowledge and the brain to go around Hennessy rather than try and chip him,
Yeah.
So he's just clinical, isn't he? Like, and he'll get the chances against Everton, and I imagine he'll score well.
Yeah. Well, I think if I wasn't captaining Salah, I would probably go with. I think I probably would stick with Robertson. I think a clean sheet. I think it's the sort of game he could get an attacking return. I'd have the Vice on Hazard in case he gets rotated again. But I'd be confident on Robertson
in case Jokanovic gets sacked and Robertson. They get that 1-0 against Liverpool. You got Robertson captain.
That bounce result I'm talking about. Oh god. Okay, so let's talk about your transfer plans then.
Right.
Because you said you've got something crazy, haven't you?
Yeah. So
Right.
Mitrovic has
Lay it on
already
me.
gone. One of my
Yeah.
free transfers for Arani. And then I was thinking, just because I've got wildcard left, I'm planning to play it in 12 and
Okay.
the international break. So I was thinking Aguero out,
Okay.
right? And then possibly Madison Fraser. I haven't decided which one.
Okay.
So Aguero would go to Wilson for their
Okay.
Newcastle fixture, and then Madison / Fraser for Mane for the double up, triple up against Fulham.
Whoa.
That's -4.
That's for this week's plan.
Yeah, that'll be this week.
Oh.
I don't.
So that would be a -4 in total.
Yeah, just -4. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just processing this. So Wilson's in. Okay, Newcastle, Mane. What about your City coverage going forward though? Would that just be rectified on the
wild card? Yeah.
wild card?
Yeah.
It'd be a ballsy move. There could be a big score in the Fulham game.
Yeah, I don't want to miss out on like it being Mane getting all the points in that one.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's just because that could happen, and Mane could get 2 goals, and Salah could get nothing. And I think it probably will be a riot. But Burnley, Madison, has Burnley, Fraser has Newcastle. They both have good fixtures, so I don't really want to get rid of one of them. So
yeah, it's funny. My only concern is that it sounds strange, but Aguero against United, although it sounds difficult, like I say, he's had a good record against them. They scored 2 goals at home against United last season. How well they're playing is the -4. I suppose you. I mean, especially if you had the wild card. If it's
like, I'm not going to captain Aguero, so I'm not really losing. True. I can just rectify it the week after.
Yeah.
I mean, but like I've had times like this before where I've wanted to go greedy on a team in his back 5.
Yeah.
But I've got that sort of blanket, and why not punt now? I've dropped down by 20,000 places. Like,
yeah,
seems like a nice time to gamble.
Have you worked out where that -4 would put you before the points come back in?
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Good.
Okay.
Just Madison / Fraser. I would not know which one to get rid of.
Well, I think if you're going to bring in Wilson, you probably get rid of Fraser because you wouldn't want to double up.
Double up. It could be great as well.
Could be get rid as well. You're right, but it's Burnley.
Well, exactly. Yeah, don't know.
Okay.
What do you?
How close and what percentage would you put yourself on that you're actually going to make those moves?
No idea at the moment.
Okay. To be honest, I quite like it because it's quite an aggressive play before a wild card. And Fulham are bottom of the league, and they conceded the most goals in the league.
Most goals in Europe as well.
Most goals in Europe. So to have double attacking coverage against them while Aguero has a more difficult game, on paper it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I might put it out on Twitter, see what people think as well.
Yeah, I think so. Or listeners, if you have any opinions on Kieran's moves, let us know what you think. Okay. No, all right. My transfer plans are a lot more simple than yours.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing is what it's going to be. I noticed actually that you're going to play Doherty, whereas I'm probably going to bench him away against Arsenal, which is... I don't know. He's in because he's good value, but then how bad Southampton are. My main man, Isaac. I could just see him popping up with a cheeky... I think it's more likely Isaac gets a goal or assist against Southampton than Doherty gets a goal or assist against Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean... Doherty...
I'd expect...
Was it like an idea of like he could go for this week as well, as in like I could take a punt on the defender?
Yeah. Right, got it.
Just because obviously Arsenal away is not great.
No.
But because I have no one else to play other than him, So there's Billing, Wan-Bissaka, Kamara.
Yeah.
There's no one else to play there, so I have to play.
That's true.
But, yeah, that's an idea as well.
Yeah. Well, that's how I'm lining up at the moment. It'd be interesting to hear about Richarlison's knock as well, because apparently he's having like a scan or something, or to see how his ankle is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll wait on news of that, but I think it'll... Yeah, my big dilemma this week is success or Doherty, and I'm going to hold the transfer for potentially looking at Salah and Maddison for Mane and Sterling next week.
Nice. No, I think success makes sense this week. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Do we want to pick out some clean sheets?
I had Arsenal down actually.
You had Arsenal down against Wolves.
Yeah,
why are you even playing Doherty then?
Hopefully clean sheet.
Play
0-0.
Play Billing.
Nah.
3 points.
Billing,
2 points.
Billing's banned. He got his 5th yellow.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just not showing up on your thing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so you said Arsenal.
Mm.
I'm going to pick out... I'll tell you what, I'm going to pick out a risky one this week and a safe one. I'm going to say a risky one, Cardiff. I think Brighton's poor away form, and Cardiff are going to be scrapping for it. I think,
Yeah,
Cardiff could get a clean sheet there.
Yeah.
Go on, then you pick out almost a banker clean sheet for us.
Liverpool, I suppose.
Oh, I was going to say Liverpool. Yeah, okay. Liverpool. I'm going to go and say... Well, I had all week. All weekend when I was planning on doing notes, I was planning to say Chelsea, but I'm not so sure anymore. I think Tottenham away at Crystal Palace. I think Pochettino's going to give them a kick up, though, after conceding a couple of goals against Wolves. Palace don't necessarily look that threatening. They got their first 2 home goals off penalties last week, and they're just not looking that attacking. So I think Tottenham.
Bournemouth as well, maybe. Away at Newcastle.
Yeah, away at Newcastle. Yeah. Could see that. Could see that happening. They've been playing well.
But yeah, pick of the games, obviously the Derby game.
Yeah, I can't wait. Should we do a prediction?
4:30 on a Sunday. I think probably like 1-1, something like that.
1-1. Okay, 1-1.
Yeah, I think it'll be tight. But
yeah, I think it'll be tight.
Obviously, I want United to do well, but I want City to do well for the double clean sheet. So
no, what are you talking about?
Sorry.
I think, sadly, I think it hurts me to say, but I think City are going to win. But I think United will score. I think it'll probably be about 3-1. 3-1 to City. I think they've got enough to really open United apart. Maybe 2-1. Actually, I'm going to say 2-1. Play it safe and say 2-1.
I don't think they'll score 3 against us.
I don't know. Lindelof and Smalling.
Yeah, just big game. They'll turn up slightly.
Bournemouth could have scored 3 goals in the first 20 minutes against United the other day.
But,
they were awful, and City would just destroy us.
Small team mentality.
If they play like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what comes to pass on that. I think that'll do. Is there anything else you want to add on the preview for this game week?
No. Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Okay. So I think thanks for everyone, you especially listener, for joining us. We'll be back this time next week with our Game Week 12 review, and we'll probably just do a review, won't we, next week? Sorry, because it's international break. We'll probably just do a review show, and then we'll do a full-on preview show the Game Week after. So if you've got any questions about your team heading into Game Week 12, just comment below or tweet us, and we're more than happy to answer your questions and get involved. Our link, or the link to the Twitter page, is both in the video description and on the screen at the bottom there. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. We'd love to have you part of the family. Yeah. And and like the video as well. So cool. I think until next week, it's goodbye from me.
Cheers and good luck.
Cheers and bye now.